So how to execute stored procedure from Power BI? So what was your question? Sailata is asking. Okay. Can you summarize what we discussed? Okay. So what I discussed in the recently, right? So how to execute the SQL query? We have explored the important direct query mode for the SQL query, simple SQL query, and then group by also we have seen it. And there are cases you may have to sort the data in descending order. The default sorting is in ascending order. If you don't specify order by, the data will get sorted in ascending order. But if you want to sort the data in descending order, you need to put it explicitly followed by the order by class. Okay, order by the column name and then the descending DSC. The short name for descending is DSC. Okay, top 5. That is what we discussed. But when I use order by in a query, what happens? You have to use top function. Okay, top function. Otherwise, it will not work. It will throw an error. Okay. So, but the question now is, top 5. If I mention it here, if I want to say top 10, yes, what you do is you can go, change your query here. Okay, just like I've shown you, right? Click on the wheel icon next to the source, and then you can, change it to 5 or 10 or something like that. Okay. But the question is, that is that thing to make a change there, the reporting user should have some technical background, right? So is there any possible that we can make it more dynamic? That we will see it later, okay? So now we will understand how to execute a stored procedure from Power BI, not query, okay? Stored procedure from what is stored procedure? Look here, these are the queries that I've executed so far. All these queries, right? If I close this SSMS, it will not get stored. But I have an option here, file and save. I can save it. Is there any way? But if I save it, what will happen? All these query will get stored in my file. Listen, if I stay with the SQL queries, the day 4 SQL queries dot SQL file, that will get stored in that file in my laptop. Is there any way that I can store the queries in my database itself? Okay, database itself. These queries I executed, but it is not permanent, right? It is not available as part of my 7-event database. Is there any way that I can store the queries? So that is also the reason why the stored procedures are very much helpful. So you can store the SQL queries. But the stored procedure, what exactly stored procedure is all about? You can write more than one SQL query in your stored procedure. You can write more than one SQL query in a stored procedure. Okay. And also, once you create a stored procedure, it will be a reusable component. You can reuse it as many times as it possible. So create once, use it as many times as possible. It's something like, you have prepared pickles, right? In your home, you have prepared the pickles in your kitchen, right? So the once you prepare the pickles and put it in a bottle, you can use it for 1 month or 2 months or so, right? Create once and reuse it for many times. The same principle is applicable, and when it comes to storage, that's why it is also called a reusable component. Okay, the reusable stored procedure, reusable one. Okay, reusable one, and the stored procedure, as the name suggests, the procedure will get stored in your database itself. Okay, it's kind of a ready mix. Okay, whenever see, for example, the simple example is you want to calculate the net sales, sorry, or net salary for each employee. Let's say you work for TCS, they have 7 lakhs employees are there. You want to compute the net salary for each and every employee. You don't have to use the formula for each and every employee, right, by typing it each and every employee record, right? So once you create a store, simply call the stored procedure. What the stored procedure does is it will return it give you the net salary for each employee. All you need just call this stored procedure and pass the relevant values to it. You need to tell the stored procedure, hey, this is the earnings these are the deductions. What are the earnings? The basic salary, HRA, all the things that forms part of your earnings. You need to tell the stored procedure, hey, these are the earnings, these are the deductions. In the stored procedure, you have written a logic, right? Subtract all the deductions from my earnings, and then store that the resultant value into a variable called net sales. So the stored procedure, when you pass the earnings and deductions, it will give you the net sales, sorry, net salary. So in this case, all you need to just call the stored procedure. That's all. It will give you it will compute the net salary for each and every employee, net salary for each and every employee. You don't have to calculate it manually. Create once, use it as many times as you want it. Okay, that is what the whole idea of using stored procedure. Let us see how we can create the stored procedure. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to use the same query now. Okay, I'm going to use the same query. We will use the simple one here, the same group by, I'm going to use it here. I just say create or replace the, one second, I'll just replace procedure. Create, okay, replace is not there, right? Okay, create procedure. We'll start with this procedure. Spelling mistake. Most of the time, if you are a fresher, you make the spelling mistake. Make sure that you are correct in typing the correct the keyword. These are called keyword. Okay, you have to use the same name. Create procedure. If you want to create a procedure, you need to use like that. Okay, you cannot use your own name. But followed by the create procedure, you can specify your own procedure. Okay, user defined stored procedure. Okay, user defined stored procedure. Here, I just say total sales, or get total sales by location. Give some meaningful name. This is called naming convention. You need to give some meaningful name, okay, for the stored procedure also, or for each and everything, okay. And here, as create procedure as, and followed by that, you need to specify the begin. Okay, this is called your body. Begin and end. And here you need to use the end. Here, this, the syntax is something like this. This is called syntax. If you want to create a stored procedure, you have to follow this pattern. Okay, create procedure. And then you give whatever the name that you wanted, but give some meaningful name like this. Okay, the naming convention should be meaningful. What are the logic that you are going to use it? That you can specify it here, as a stored procedure. Okay, and then followed by the create procedure, you need to specify the as, and then begin and end. Begin and is inside the begin end. This is a body of your stored procedure. The body starts here. Okay, followed by the begin. The body starts. This is where you specify your logic here. In this case, I just want to compute the total sales. Fine. So what is so big deal here? Yeah. Okay, this is the one will give me the total sales, right? Okay. I'll start with a simple one, and then we will complicate this. Okay, we'll make it a little bit difficult. Okay, once I create it, you don't have to, for example, you close this server management studio. Okay, yes, you practice it, everything, you close it. Tomorrow, when you open it, it will not be available. Which one? These queries and all, right? Unless you save it explicitly, it will not be available. But when you use a stored procedure, this one will get stored in your database. Tomorrow, when you open the SSMS, you don't have to, type the entire query. Simply, call the stored procedure. All the queries that are available here, that will get executed. Okay, fine. So I just click on the execute now. Okay, good. So no error, nothing. Now the question is, yes, I have created the stored procedure. How do I use it? Once you create a stored procedure, you need to use it, isn't it? So you have to use something called exec. If you want to use this stored procedure, which you created it, select this stored procedure name, followed by the exec, you need to put this one. So this is a blue colored one, right? All the blue color are command. keyword. Okay, you can use execute. Okay, you can use execute. The short form is exec. Okay, exec. And if I run this, if I execute this, what will happen? Look here, I selected this one. Now I'm going to click on the execute button now. First, you need to select this one. Okay, and then click on execute. You can see that the location name. So the query inside this stored procedure, right? So this is the query. This query inside this stored procedure getting executed. All you have to do is just type this command exec and then the stored procedure. That's all, guys. So let's this procedure, stored procedure created by someone else. All you have to do is call this stored procedure exec. That's all, guys. Something like the car was produced by someone. All you need to do is you need to know how to put the key and start the key. Nowadays, everything plus the button, the car will get started. Okay. And then you should know how to drive the car. That's all. You don't have to understand what is there inside the car. So this is like something like inside the car. What are the things are there? That is something like that. So right? It simplifies once you create a stored procedure, so you can maintain some consistency across your line of business. What do you mean by consistency across line of business? Nothing but department. It's in your company, multiple departments are there. Or the classic example is net salary, computing the net salary. Different branches, all the branches, they have to compute the net salary, right? Every month end, right? The payroll department, they're supposed to generate the salary. They're supposed to compute the net salary. Each location, if they use different formulas, then the output, the net salary will give something else, right? So what you do is you put everything in a stored procedure. You ask all the branch people to use the stored procedure so that they don't have to write the query. Consistently, what is the logic that we use across the location, they'll be using it. Okay, for consistency, reusability, modularity, we use stored procedure. Okay, how to create the stored procedure? So to create a stored procedure, you need to use this keyword, create procedure, followed by you need to use this name, and then followed by you need to as begin and all. Okay, as and begin end. Inside the begin end, you need to specify the body. Okay, all your logic, formulas, everything, right? You need to use this one here, and then that's all. Save it, and then now I created a stored procedure. Fine. So how do I call this? How do I invoke this or call this stored procedure function? You need to use exec followed by the stored procedure. You're all set. So let's you have this one they created in the corporate office. And the branch office, you are in a branch office, all you need to just use this simple one-line command. Exec, this call this. So you don't have to understand, what column, what formulas they are using it, joining condition. You don't have to be aware. Simply it gives you the output. So once you created this one become a reusable component. So the interview, they'll ask you this one also. Apart from what is group by, what is order by, and what are the limitations with creating views, and what are the limitations in direct query mode. And apart from this, they expect what value you bring it to the table. You tell them I have created reusable component. So, okay, what are the reusable? So when you create the reusable component, it says all the locations people, all the different branches people's job, right? The simple example, let's assume that this stored project gives you the net salary, but here a lot of complex logics are there, okay? And everything, but the only thing is each location people, each branch, they just simply call your stored project to find out the net salary. That's all, right? It saves a lot of their time. Okay, fine. Okay. We will take some other, the use cases, how we can create a stored procedure, and we have something that's called stored function. How to do that in the how to create them, how to use them the real world scenario, that we'll see it later. So at this moment I have created a simple stored procedure. How to invoke the stored procedure, we have seen it. Now I just copy the last line and then copy this. I go back to my Power BI desktop and see, is it possible for me to call that stored procedure which was created by someone else or by you from Power BI desktop. Okay, sorry, here SQL Server database. Simply how to call the stored procedure. Yes, like Pooja, who asked this question, why do I need to execute the query from Power BI. So the reason is, one of the reason is, you will not have access to your SQL server most of the time. Okay, sometimes in some cases. So in that case, you need to execute the stored procedure via your Power BI desktop. Okay, and even the SQL queries and all. Okay. Some cases, due to some security reasons, all the things, they will not give you direct access here. Then how do I check all this? It's kind of a challenge, but you need to, explain the customer, right? The necessity for having an access to that 7-11 is the database name. So here I just, I'm going to call the stored procedure that I create in my SQL server. The same for this or exec followed by this one. I'm going to hit work and say direct query mode. We'll start with the simple one, import mode. Import mode will work. Okay, so no need to try direct query. In the interest of time, I'm going to try this one directly. Yeah, that that stored procedure got called or invoked from my Power BI desktop, and then whatever the query that I mentioned as part of the stored procedure get executed. The output of the query get displayed here. I'm going to hit load now. Syntax near exec. Okay. It is not working here. There is an error here, right? Stored procedure, when I call it, it is not working there. Okay. Yeah, here I have used the group by everything, right? Okay. What I am going to do is I'm going to remove all the things. Okay. I just, use the sales amount. I'll just make it very simple. Hmm. What is that? How do we alter procedure? Huh? Okay. What is the syntax for this? Anybody has any idea? Hmm. Create or replace, right? Yeah, I use the create or replace, but it's throwing error, right? Create or alter. Okay, alter procedure, right? Okay, okay. Create or alter. Am I correct? Yeah, and create or alter. I think so, right? Yeah. In Oracle, it is replace. Since we worked with multiple things, I got confused. See what happened? I made changes to the SQL query, and when I try to create the when I select everything, when I click on execute, it says this procedure already exists. But here we have an option. Either you create or modify the existing stored procedure. For that, you need to always use create or alter. Okay. Now, if I click on it, it will not throw an error like the stored procedure already exists. So what is the error now? Use alter. Correct. Create or alter procedure as begin and sorry, here I put the bracket here. That's the reason why it was throwing error. I just execute. Yes, now my stored procedure got altered because I made changes to the query. Now I'm going to execute this one. It gives me everything here. And I'm going to call this one again. I just say, I just discard changes because it was throwing an error. So I can see the stored procedure got, invoked, and then the query inside that one got executed. The output of the query that will that will get loaded here. So still I can see execute syntax near the keyword exec. So what is the issue here? Let me just. Okay, we'll try it in, it's not working there in direct query mode. Why it's not working? Maybe limitations. And here I just go here and check the connect and then the database engine. I just copy this again. I go back here and 711, right? And instead I'm going to use the import mode. It will work, but it's very dangerous because in that query I did not use any filtering condition and all, right? Import mode will work. Look here, 92 rows got loaded. It is working, but direct query mode, it is not working due to some limitations, okay? Query 5 was my stored procedure, right? I just simply called the stored procedure. Now you understood with this simple example how to invoke a stored procedure from your Power BI desktop, but we are not able to invoke the same stored procedure. The simple logic, right? We are not able to invoke it due in direct query mode due to some limitations, okay? And okay, the next question is, first of all, see this stored procedure, why should I need to use this stored procedure? So Pooja asked this question. So why should I use the stored procedure first of all? I can use the query directly there, right? Why should I use stored procedure? The whole idea of stored procedure is you want to make your stored procedure more dynamic. Okay, your query more dynamic. For that, I'm going to use something like parameter. Stored procedure, we have something like parameter. So freshers don't get scared. Okay, I will explain it later session. We have a dedicated session for SQL topic. You don't have to worry. Okay, simply you watch what I do at this moment. And here, here what I do is in the where class. Okay, and in the where clause, I just say, okay, and here, and DL dot location key. At look, sorry, not this one, D1 dot, right? So DL dot, it's a DL dot location name is equivalent to at the rate location name. Don't worry, I'll explain you. Simply watch what I do. I just, I have increased the complexity a little more. So what I did, I have included an additional line, something like location name, at location name. This is called parameter. With parameter, you can make your reports or stored procedure more dynamic. So here, what I did, this parameter name, I just mentioned it here, and also I mentioned it here. But what are the parameter that you use it in your body of your stored procedure? You need to declare that parameter name first, followed by your definition, create or altered procedure, right? Followed by you need to specify the parameter. You can use n number of parameters. So the parameter you need to prefix with at symbol at whatever the name for the parameter. In this case, the parameter name is location name. Followed by that, you need to specify the data type. Okay, inside that, you need to specify the width of that. Okay, 100. And now what I did, I created a stored procedure. And in this stored procedure, look here, I just recreated. I think I created it, right? Yeah, fine. Now I need to pass the location name here. When I call, see earlier what we learned, how to call this stored procedure which I created it. So you need to use exact, the interview question, okay? How do you call the stored procedure? Lakshmi, how do you call the stored procedure? You create the stored procedure, how do you create this one? So you may not be able to understand everything, okay? At least understand the basic things, okay? So the how do you call the stored procedure? You need to use execute, exec followed by your stored procedure name. Since we have used the parameter name here, you need to specify the corresponding parameter name here. Okay, so value for this. And for this, I use BLR. In our data set, in the location name, we have BLR, right? So hence I'm going to specify the BLR. This BLR followed by the stored procedure, I mentioned it. This BLR will get copied to this parameter. Now here BLR will be there. The same BLR will get copied here. So will show me the totals is only for the Bangalore. If you want to see only Chennai, you give CHN here. Okay. Followed by the stored procedure, you need to specify the value for your parameter. You can specify more than one parameter also. I don't want to complicate too much. I just create, I just execute this one now. Okay, execute now. Look, oh, sorry. Location name is Bangalore, right? So let me do one thing. What is the look? Sorry, here. Location Bangalore or BLR? Bangalore, correct. Here you need to specify the proper name. The location name, right? Proper location name into specify. You cannot specify whatever the name that you want. So what will happen is the Bangalore value will get copied to the parameter location name. This parameter will have this value. And here you are going to check this one where location name equal to Bangalore. For that alone, you need to compute the total sales. Okay. So now I just execute this one. Now it shows only the Bangalore related data, right? You need to click on the results. You can see that all the Bangalore related only you can see. So now I'm going to use this stored procedure where I have used the parameter, right? I just click on the SQL server. I just click on the advanced options. I'm going to call this stored procedure here. I just go back and then click on connect database engine and then copy this, cancel it. I just put it here and here 711. Okay, and we will use execute import mode because we are getting some issue. And this is the execute, this is a reserved word, keyword, and followed by that your stored procedure name, which you have already created in your SQL server. Don't give some, if you use some spelling mistake or not, it will not work. Okay. And followed by that, you need to specify the value for your parameter. You can specify more than one value if you have multiple parameter in your stored procedure. In our example, I have used only one parameter. What was the parameter name? Location name, right? So hence for that parameter, only one parameter, I just specified only one value. Okay. So I just hit OK. Let's see what happens. Now it has Power BI has to execute that query. While executing that, it has to apply the filter on the only Bangalore related. Look here, only Bangalore related data. I just need to load and let's see what happens. One query is sales flight query one and my God, stored procedure. Yeah, expects parameter attribute which was not supplied. Your function expects parameter at location which was not supplied. We have mentioned, right? I just discard this value thing. Discard. I just in 3-4 days back only. Sorry, not 1 week back only installed the latest version. Okay. I'm not sure if this is due to the latest version of the Power BI. Okay, anyhow, 711. Same thing, I'm using it there. Yeah, you may have to use the this one, okay, the semicolon. Is that the problem? Okay, here, yeah, I have noticed one difference. When it comes to Power BI desktop, you need to use double quote, single quote only. But now I use the direct query mode. Oh, I think I selected direct query mode, right? By default, I think it is, I don't know why it is switching to direct query mode by default. Will throw an error because direct query mode, it is not working. So the problem was the direct query mode. I could see that. import. Okay, I'm using import, and again you don't have to specify this one and all. It okay. I mentioned semicolon. Ideally, before even showing the preview window, it should throw an error, right? It's wasting time unnecessarily. Parameter expects location which was not supplied, but here it is working fine. Yeah, query we can use select star from open query server name, right? You can use that way also. Yeah, you can use the query also to call this one. This is another way of executing it. So let me just check, he has given me something like that here. Who our friend? The select star from execute DB name DBO. Oh, DBO, right? Correct, correct. Sometimes you can use select also, but server name, you need to specify the server name, right? Okay. What I will do is I just go here and copy this, cancel it, and then the server name. Where stored procedure DB name is 711. And the parameter name, okay, the parameter name is location name, right? But I'm pretty sure I simply execute like that. It used to work in the earlier version, but I'm not sure why it's not working now. So it's Bangalore. Is this how should I use it there? From open query, okay. No, yeah, it's okay. But you can also watch my previous batch video. I have mentioned only that one. Let us see anyhow. Here, this is my server name, right? Is this correct? Syntax correct, right? Or one? So why here three codes, double code, and this code for this code for that, right? Exec. Okay. Okay. Let me see what happens. And we encountered an error while trying to connect details. It's not configured for data access. So I need to use something else. Okay, last try. So what I am going to do is, okay, I just simply say execute DBO database. So sorry, I did not mention, see, 711 database name and DBO, right? So is this what the syntax? Is the syntax correct? 711 DBO dot at location name. Do I need to leave space here? Okay, okay. What I will do is, sorry. Usually what we do is the stored procedure name. Yes, correct. Stored procedure name, I did not mention it. That's the problem here. Execute your database name and then the owner of the database owner, DBO dot your stored procedure, followed by at location name, right? You can use this way also. And here, in any of, we don't need this one. But since I'm not using as part of a query, so that is another way of doing it. Okay, let me just, this is the last try. Error, okay. You encountered the error expects parameter location which was not supplied. Okay, better I will use this query. In this query, I did not mention the stored procedure name. Okay, and here I'll use it. It should work here also, right? It should work here itself. Is not configured for data access. What is this? Data access server data is not configured data access. Maybe because of, see, in SQL Server, right? For the literals, the single quote is working, whereas here double quote is required. This is one issue I posted in the previous version. Let me just check. If this is true, we'll just check. And now it's going there. And I will just, if you mention it in a single quote, it is not understanding it. That is what I noticed in the previous version. Let me see in the latest version. Yeah, the same issue. Okay. Like, I'll just now try the last try. Yeah, but in order for this one to work, right? So it's not configured for data access. So we'll check, what is the error. But I'm damn sure, okay, if you give like this, it should work. It is not working. Yeah, I think maybe because of the latest version, right? But I'm 100% sure. But yeah, in my previous video, if you see, the same thing is working fine. Anyhow, guys, I will just check it and then I'll come back. But now you understood how to create a stored procedure, how to call the stored procedure from your Power BI desktop. The reason why we call the stored procedure from the Power BI desktop is the stored procedure, right? So we don't want to understand what the underlying logic defined in your stored procedure. Simply call the stored procedure from your Power BI desktop by passing the parameter value also. Okay. And it should work, but unfortunately, it is not working. I'm sure this because of the latest version. I will just check and I'll come back. And again, the alternative solution, this one also I'll check. Okay. What is data access? All the things I'll just check and I'll come back to you. Okay. Yeah, the reason is, Pooja, why we are calling the stored procedure, why we need to execute the stored procedure from the Power BI desktop is simple. You may not have access for your SQL server directly. Okay, in that kind of situation also. But sometimes, right, for your reporting requirement, and to overcome the limitations like this. In your query itself, you can see in this case, in your query itself, we can combine the two columns, all the things, right? Let's say you want to use a direct query mode. So what it is in the query itself, you combine all the things and then you can call it directly from there, okay? You can execute the query from there. For that reason, to overcome the limitations of the direct query mode, the SQL query itself, you do all kind of data pre-processing, data formatting, create a new columns, everything you do it here. This query, you can use it directly from your Power BI desktop. Okay. Yeah. For that purpose, and another reason is sometimes you may not have access to stored this SQL server. You may not have access to the SSMS, all the things. Okay, due to security reasons, in that kind of situations, it will be easy. But most of the time, the process, most of the where I work, they have given the access to the SSMS everything. Right, so you can execute the query, you can test it because testing is very much important. For that, the SQL server access is very much required. The number one reason is this one. Okay, if you want to do some complex formatting, data transformation, everything, create additional columns, everything to overcome the direct connectivity mode, right? So you will be doing everything in the query itself. That query you will be calling it there. What is the question? Okay. Now Pooja asked another question. Then why should I use view here? Like stored procedure, the view also will get stored here. But in your the original sales fact table, you don't have these columns, right? So if you use this query alone, what will happen when you close and reopen this one? This will not get stored, right? And to store this one in your database, you can use create view, but you can use the stored procedure also. You can also use view. The view is virtual table. Temporarily, you are going to so it's going to be it will use the existing table only. It is not going to store the value. The other interview question is it possible for me to update the existing view. I have created view. Is it possible for me to insert the data in a view and update my view? Is it possible? Experienced people. I have created a view in, so can I insert the data in my view and can I update the data in my view? That is possible. But yeah, yes, it is possible. So, but if you have used only one table also, right, that is possible. Okay, if you are using multiple tables, it will be a little bit challenging. Okay, fine. This one I'll check and come back to you. Okay, but this is quite new one for me because I a week back only installed it, the latest version. And you can also watch my previous batch videos. I think I have used the same thing. It is working fine. Unfortunately, it's not working. There may be some limitation also. So I just save this. I will share this SQL file also as requested by Lata. Okay, and day 5 SQL 3.SQL. Okay, and this SQL file also I'll share it. You give it a try and also do some Googling and check, what needs to be done from your side because 5 more days are the right. You are free. Check it and then try to fix it on your own. Or else I will tell you the workaround for this. Okay, during the weekday itself, right? I will check and I'll send you that. Okay. Fine. Any other questions? Hope you understood how to